hey dudes, how's it going? But really, how is it going? Because you've clicked onto a video largely about disappointment and about trying to find perseverance through that. So really just welcome, come, chill. This is a safe place. Just as you are, whatever baggage you're carrying, this is a great time to just drop that as best you can, rejuvenate, and hopefully after this video you will just be walking away so much stronger and feeling more ready to carry on. Now, no one is perfect, and also no thing is perfect, and 2021 has not been great in many ways, and also maybe even Christmas has been difficult for you as well. I know that there's one of you in particular who told me before Christmas that your parents are going through a tricky separation, a breakup, and you're feeling that that's very dramatic and feeling really beat down by that. And that's honestly just broken my heart, and almost every single day leading up to Christmas I've been praying for you. And truthfully, from my point of view as well, Christmas has been, it was lovely. It was lovely until the way home, and then now we're in a situation where we're dealing with a lot of upset and we're trying to work through that in the most helpful and mature way, and it's not easy, but we're trying. So maybe you guys can relate to that a little bit about Christmas, or just anything else, any disappointment. It's all welcome here. We're going to work through it. Now, of course, at any moment in your life, you can choose to regroup, stand up taller, and have an attitude change and go forward, really wanting to work on things and have a mindset for fixing things to bring the best out of everything. You might be like me in that your brain might work really well with milestones. So New Year might be a really good way for you to set your brain onto, okay, new start. From then we're gonna go do things better. That works really well for me, and luckily if you're like that too, that's not too far away. Now, even though we can't necessarily fix our situation or make certain people do or say things that we really would like them to, but we do have an element of control over our own attitude and our behaviours that can help towards a better future and can help make the best out of the worst. If you watch these videos quite a bit, you may notice that I love lists and tips and numbers. So we're doing that today. We've got 3. And the first one is about being a really good reflector. Sometimes we can just get stuck in this trap of emotion, especially negative emotions. They can really cloud our mind and make us feel entangled in a web of disappointment and negativity and not really seeing a clear way out. So a great way to try and navigate through that is to stop, reflect, and ask questions to ourselves to try and understand the situation more and get to the root of how we're feeling, why we're feeling that way, and what we might need to do next. And this works best if you try to keep your answers very short and specific. What do I feel? Why am I upset? Who am I upset with? Is there anything in the situation that's my fault? Is there anything in the situation that's no one's fault? Have your time to just sit in your emotion and process that, but then try and move on to simple, logical questions to help you understand it. Secondly, be a good communicator. Even if you truly feel that you are fully the victim or partially the victim, you have still got a role to play in helping the situation. Because even from the point of view of the victim, you've got power to make the situation even worse. So we want to avoid that, be more mature than that, be a bigger, stronger person, and help. Even if you think that other people don't deserve help, which is not an attitude that we like to have, even if you're just battling with that mentality though, it will benefit everyone, including you, to try and make the situation as constructive as possible. And also you can use the situation to be a leader and an example to other people who might just need to be shown how to deal with the situation in a more mature way. So I guess this is kind of an activity. I'm going to give you 3 responses to a situation, and I want you to try and see what the difference is between each of them and see which one might work best to get to a more constructive solution. So let's say that you got into an argument with a friend and they have called you a word which you find really unkind. And for the sake of the video and explaining this, I am just going to say them. So let's pretend that someone has called you a bitch or that someone has called you a dickhead. So, response number 1, I can't believe you called me a bitch, you are such a hypocrite, you should apologise. Second response. And the third response, I know we were arguing and I'm sorry for my part in that, and I think you probably just acted out of emotion, but when you called me that word, it really hurt my feelings and I'd really like to fix it, but I just would really like an apology. In the first response, there was a little bit of drama, a little bit of an extreme phrase used, I can't believe this, and there's also an accusation and an instruction. So it's likely that for someone on the receiving end of that, they might feel like you're trying to control them by telling them exactly what they should do. They might be defensive because you have accused them of something, and also they might respond to your tone of a little bit of drama, a little bit of strong language, strong tone, and they might then show that in return, or maybe even hype that up another level. In the second response, silence, although you might think that that's a very neutral response and you're not doing anything to help the situation or unhelp it, silence can actually be quite damaging, especially if your eye contact is quite aggressive, like if you're doing a death stare, and that might cause someone else again to feel defensive or attacked. Sometimes it is good to go away and just be silent with yourself and calm down, or not speak too quickly and just really think through what you're going to say. That there really is value in that. But there also comes a point where it's time that, okay, that's enough, and now I just need to initiate a conversation with this person. Now, the third response, you might have already guessed this is the response that we're trying to encourage today, because there are great things in this one. There's understanding. Then we've got an apology, which maybe depending on the situation, you might want to apologise a little bit more, bring up something specific that you did in the argument. We've then got some empathy, telling that person how it made you feel, showing that you want a positive solution, and inviting them in a very gentle way to apologise. So you're being fair and gentle. You're making it really comfortable for that person to maybe admit what they did was wrong, to accept that you're playing ball so they can as well. And you haven't given them a reason to feel overly defensive. But again, with you being really constructive, you've also been fair to yourself that you would like an apology from them. Sometimes it's easy just to say, oh, don't worry about it. That phrase is fine if you mean it. Part of being a really good communicator is saying what you mean and meaning what you say. And the third thing that you can do to make the best out of the worst is go back to what is good. If you come from a situation or from a relationship that makes you feel bad and inherently is bad, then it's really good to go away and create an environment for you that is good. That might mean tidying your room so you've got a space that feels fresh, opening the window, having fresh air, going for a walk, eating good food, listening to your favourite music, enjoying your hobbies. It's kind of like an environmental and a practical detox to help you get in the place of being in a good mindset to continue well. And what is the most good thing that we all have access to all the time that's really powerful, with the power to transform any situation and is completely free? It's God. God can help. He can help with all three of these steps. When you're feeling really tested by someone, he can give you patience. When you're feeling tired, he can give you rest. And when you're feeling beaten down, he can give you comfort. Matthew 7 verses 7 to 8 says, "Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, and the one who seeks finds, and to the one who knocks the door will be opened." Now remembering that God is a good Now remembering that God is a good God and he wants to feed good things into the situation, if what you're asking for is for him to smite that person down and make them feel terrible, God might be less keen to give you precisely that. However, in those difficult situations, if what you're asking for is strength and help and guidance and wisdom, God loves to give those in abundance. So remember to ask good things from a good God and he will love to give them to you. And sometimes the way that he gives you that patience is by allowing you to go further into this situation of difficulty, of challenge, but with him being there with you to help you navigate and learn the skill of patience, rather than just him giving it to you like a magical potion that expires, but teaching you the skill that you can then carry with you for the rest of your life. And asking for help from God isn't just about coming away from the situation and asking in retrospect or taking a break and then going back in. God can help you in the very moment. As Joshua chapter 1 verse 9 says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." So if you just need help, if you just need restoration deep within you and within your situation, just go to God in prayer and reading the Bible, and you will receive from him. As Hebrews 4 verse 16 says, Let us then approach God's throne of grace with confidence, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need. Life is hard, life is imperfect, people are imperfect, but the more that you draw near to God, the stronger, the more wise you will be to continue on better and have so much more resilience in these hard situations. So let's be inspired by God's plan for goodness and try and input good into everything we do. Even when we feel that things have hurt us, we can still put good into that. And when we're struggling, God can still help you to rejuvenate you and provide for you to go on and give more. And sometimes the wisest thing is not to make a direct resolution, but even then you can make a conclusion. Even if the most wise thing ends up being to end a toxic friendship with someone, you can still communicate that in love. It doesn't have to be a nasty ending. You can still use tools from God that He will provide for you to help round the situation off as best as possible. Just do what you can with God's help to put a little bit more love into all the situations that you enter into. So I hope this has helped, and I'll catch you guys in another video very soon. Bye.